On April 10, 1860, at Lagos, Martin Delany and Robert Campbell boarded ship for London and Birmingham to seek backers for a plan to build Freeman's cotton farms in the Niger Valley. They would undersell at the gold price of 14 cents a pound all the slave-wrought cotton from the plantations back home to make bales of cotton rot on the docks of Charleston and New Orleans, as it were.
When I was growing up in Pittsburgh, my children's age, I worked hours and hours inscribing with a fine needle the Lord's Prayer, all of it, on the face of an English sixpence like this one.
Delany was not wanted in the United States because of his radical political views. So he set sail for London and began preparing his report to his backers on the promise of Africa.
I've noticed that when I read, my eyes scan the page back and forth and up and down like a loon. I was so crazy about words. I was like Cervantes. I'd pick up every grimy scrap in the gutters of Charlestown to see if it had magic code to worlds beyond. I read and broke bread with the ideas and dreams of Thomas Jefferson and Socrates and ancient pharaohs. Then Grandma Gracie at night would tell me about my grandfather, Shango.
No more stories, Martin.
And off to sleep in dreams about the greatest people who ever lived. I wanted my children to accumulate great hopes. If I ever set shoe leather on New York's dock, President Buchanan himself would drop the noose around my despised neck, since John Brown, who I knew did rebel and killed and was hanged, I didn't reckon there would be much of a welcoming party for me.
Dr. Delany's most prestigious speaking invitation was before the International Statistical Society, chaired by Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, and the most esteemed scientific body in the world on July 16, 1860, at London's Somerset House. As the meeting was beginning at 4, Lord Brougham, who hated American slavery, addressed the body, which included the delegation from the United States, headed by Augustus Baldwin Longstreet. The United States Ambassador, George Mifflin Dallas, was also seated on the dais. Both fervently believed, as did their president, that persons called slaves were technically, legally, and truly 3/5 human, just a notch above a good horse.
I call the attention of Mr. Dallas to the fact that there is a Negro present, and I hope he will feel no scruples on that account.
I was eye to eye with men who wished me dead. So many memories engulfed me. I rise, Your Royal Highness, to thank His Lordship, the unflinching friend of the Negro, for the remarks he has made in reference to myself, and to assure Your Royal Highness and His Lordship that I am a man.
Withering amid what the London Times later called the wildest shouts ever from so grave an assemblage, Longstreet jumped up and led the U.S. delegation out of the hall. Ambassador Dallas stayed seated on the dais, silent. The proceedings ended, and Dr. Delany became an international sensation.